Chrishell has you blocked, and she won't reveal why she blocked you. Do you know why you're blocked?
I mean, I have an inkling why I'm blocked, yeah.
Well, hi, Christine.
Hi, Bryce.
How's life treating you in quarantine?
Oh, you know, quarantine is fun. It's turning this hoe into a housewife, but you know, I love it, and I'm really having a great time.
Well, and I feel like everyone and their mother and their brother and their friend and their high school friend they haven't talked to in 10 years have discovered Selling Sunset in quarantine. It blew up. Have you felt that?
Yeah, we were really fortunate because, you know, we already had the show wrapped and ready to go. So it came out at the perfect time because everyone's home and, you know, they're discovering it for the first time and I love it.
Aw, hey guys. Or that's big to me.
Hi.
And then I'm back.
I'm excited to get back to work, but I'm not gonna lie, there's too many bitches in this office.
Talk to me about kind of how the show came to be, because I noticed season 1, curse words are bleeped, there's some blurs of stuff. It feels like maybe it wasn't made for Netflix originally.
Well, originally we shot the pilot initially for all networks because we didn't know where it was going to go. So episode 1 is actually the pilot. That's why you'll notice I have like 6 inches of roots. It's really fun. And we didn't know if it was going to go anywhere. And originally, you know, they wanted to go a more tame direction by, you know, not using curse words and, you know, staying away from certain things. And then they realized that people actually love it. So then season 2, it was like, it's on, and we're like, screw you, you know? And it's just so much more real. It's more organic in my opinion, because we're not filtering ourselves. And I love that Netflix loves that side of us now.
People have labeled the show as fake, but I think there are just cinematic moments, but the drama we see unfold and the moments we see unfold are your real reactions in those moments. Those aren't produced.
Of course, I'm a good actor, but I'm not that good.
So you originally moved to LA to pursue modeling and acting, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
This is a private party.
This one's mine.
What? Yes!
You know, I loved acting and modeling, but it got to a point where I was so tired of, you know, being stereotyped for the same role over and over and over. I was like, I just want to give it a break for a little while. So I was like, let me, you know, get into a real job, just see how that goes. And, you know, I was in real estate for quite a while. I met Jason through a friend of mine. And, you know, then when the show came up, I was like, perfect, this is great, you know? And I love real estate because I can be my own boss. And that's the really fun element of it. And now I get to be myself on TV, so I love it even more.
So there was no trepidation about signing yourself up for a reality TV show. You were like in it from the second it was off.
I was like, where do I sign? Where's the pen? I was ready to go. I think I was, you know, the one girl that was like gung-ho all in. The other girls, you know, they had reservations for sure. But for me, I was the one that was like, guys, we got to do this. This is it.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about you from the show?
That I'm this crazy, one-note, raging bitch all the time.
You understand the difference, right? Or do you still have dementia?
Christine.
But that's what's fun for TV, and I know that's what people want to see, so I love bringing it. But also, you know, there is a sweet, caring, you know, genuine side to me, and I do get my feelings hurt, and I do cry, and I am a big teddy bear. So I encourage people to get to know me outside of the show as well.
You, in like kind of the spirit of an Erika Jayne figure, bring a lot of glam to this show and a vibe to this show. Were you always bringing the fashion at that level, or was that a conscious choice when you're like, I'm gonna be on TV, I gotta step it up?
No, I mean, I've always been so extra and so over the top. I've always been extra, that's just who I am, you know? So I was just being myself, and I love that people, you know, relate me to Erika Jayne. That's honestly an honor. But it's just, I'm just being myself.
It's expensive to be made.
Okay, so the glam routine didn't change, but did the budget change when you're like, okay, I'm gonna be on TV? Like, how much are we spending to look this good on TV,
well,
Christine?
Season 1, you know, had a certain budget, and then season 2, my budget was love, so it only got better, I guess.
I don't know, some call it fraud, I call it love. Whatever.
Can you give me a price point of how much you've ever spent on glam, like the most you've ever spent?
Well, my glam every day, if I do hair and makeup, is close to $1,000 a day.
Damn.
Yeah.
But you got that love credit, so.
I'm not including wardrobe either, so, you know, that's a whole other realm.
Hi. there.
Oh my gosh, all of your parties are epic.
That's like a good vibe, but still.
It should have been a lot.
Very stressful.
At least my other one made up for it.
I know, right?
How was
You
it?
good?
Hi, Amanda.
Good to see you.
I want to dig into some of the drama of the show. We'll start at season 2 and work our way forward. What exactly changed between you and Mary between seasons 1 and season 2?
I'm just done talking. I can't trust you. You disrespected me. You weren't loyal to me.
Oh, I feel like you weren't loyal to me.
After we stopped filming, you know, the cameras went down and phones work both ways, and I wasn't getting calls from her and she wasn't reaching out. And, you know, she was going out of her way to make her relationship with Chrishell really public. And it was something that kind of hurt my feelings. So when we went into season 2, you know, I hadn't talked to her in probably 6 months, 7 months, you know? So there was a lot of, you know, miscommunication going on. So it just kept building and building until finally, you know, I was like, okay, like, let's let this stuff go. Let's just be friends. So at her wedding, you know, that's when I was like, let's just let everything go. But then, you know, Amanda makes it difficult. I do want to be friends with Mary, and she's kind of always like that bodyguard blocking her, and she want to make sure I don't get to her. So it's difficult. It's like, you know, trying to get to the president of the United States. It's hard.
But safe to say, kind of introducing the show into your lives changed the dynamic between the two of you.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'd be lying if it didn't bleed over and say that it didn't bleed over into our personal relationships. I mean, absolutely. You know, since the cameras went on, our relationships have not been the same.
As you became kind of a breakout star from the first season, you have one of the largest followings out of the cast. Do you think that has affected that dynamic at all?
I mean, I really hope not. You know, for me, I'm happy. I'm so happy when people are successful. So I know for me, it hasn't affected me, but, you know, maybe other people have gotten egos, and, you know, I could definitely see that happening. But I would certainly hope that it shouldn't change any of us.
If you had to pick, if it came down to it, who would you pick, Davina or Mary?
Duh! Davina.
That's kind of sad to hear that things have changed that much.
It is sad to hear. And I was, you know, on my Finsta watching Mary's Instagram live, and, you know, it was sad to hear her talk about, she's like, who would you bring on an island? And she, like, you know, didn't want to bring me on the island. And I was like, oh. So it's just, it kind of sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. You know, I always said, like, we were something that we needed for each other at that moment in time, and we just aren't anymore. We've grown apart and we're so different. And I think it's a valuable lesson to learn that, you know, people aren't always going to be in your life forever, and sometimes you just gotta let people go.
Well, you and Mary have kind of parted ways. You and Heather have come together because in one of the season 1 episodes, you, like, straight up tell her to her face,
Like, I don't like you, but, like, I don't have to be your friend to, like, see what's going on and realize that that's not fair.
But you're not my friend?
I mean, she was that. I'm just honest. I'm just being honest. I say all the stuff that other people wish that they could. You know, her and I have grown so close because, you know, we're able to have these little arguments.
Heather, stop being a little bitch right now. Stop being a little bitch.
But they don't mean anything, and then, you know, we get back to normal. And a lot of the other girls are like that. Me and Amanda are like that as well. We have fights and we're like, that was stupid. Can't believe we did that. Anyway.
It seems the two people you don't have that relationship with are Mary and Chrishell.
No, those girls really, really hold grudges. That's all I got to say.
Do you have hope for getting to that place with them, or is it just kind of, it is what it is?
I mean, yeah, of course I have hope. I mean, I want to reconnect with these girls, and honestly, it's getting tiring. You know, Maya's exhausted, Davina's exhausted, Amanda's exhausted of Chrishell just constantly just like hating me. So it's time to just move on and forgive. And I hope that, you know, next season we can really see that, because I'm ready, I've been ready. It's just been really difficult for those two.
When you say next season, you're talking about a 4th season, right? Not the 3rd one that we haven't yet seen.
I mean, if there is a 4th season, I don't know.
Well, the show's been in the top 10 trending, I think, since it came back. So I feel like season 4 is going to happen.
I don't know.
This Finsta. Are you Finsta stalking your co-stars a lot? Are you lurking?
Yeah.
Well, because Chrishell has very publicly said in about every interview she's done that she has you blocked, and she won't reveal why she blocked you. Do you know why you're blocked?
I mean, I have an inkling why I'm blocked, yeah. Yeah.
Well, she says, I have receipts that she knows about that she doesn't want me to reveal.
I mean, it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. I mean, I didn't like her at the time, and I was being funny, and so I was hearting certain comments.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a big deal. It was just silly. But, you know,
Okay.
I think her and I have come, from, you know, we've come really far from season 1. You know, she said in an interview the other day, she's like, you know, I would be open to, you know, again, being friends with Christine. So that was nice to hear that she was open to that, because that's something that I've always been open to. So, yeah.
Okay. I do think the show benefits from the both of you being on it. Like, I think you're both necessary figures for the show we watch and we love. Season 3 looks like we're going to dip even more into the personal lives than we have seen in 1 and 2, because we're gonna see you get married.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited.
Why did you keep your relationship so under wraps until after you were engaged? Like, you had taken such a big step and nobody knew.
You know, I'm not like these other girls. You know, Heather's very like, oh, I just met this guy, and you know, like, and she's writing her name in cursive with his last name. Like, I'm not like that at all. I'm kind of really like a guy. So for me, I had done that before, where I invited, you know, people into the group that I was dating for maybe a month, and then they would disappear and it'd be embarrassing. So, you know, I was like kind of hesitant about telling people, because I wanted to see if it went somewhere first. And, you know, so we were dating, and, you know, it was like a whirlwind, and then we were traveling the world, and I really wasn't talking to anyone. And then, you know, I got engaged in February, and I wanted to wait to tell people until I was back in LA, until I could sit down and, you know, have a one-on-one conversation with them. You know, I really wanted it to be personal. So that's kind of why I waited. It wasn't like a big secret.
Okay, so your coworkers just kind of blew it up into something that you never intended it to be.
Oh, did they ever?
Well, and then there's some misinformation, it seems, about how you and your husband got together. So clear the air there.
Well, obviously, you know, Mary, you know, went out of her way to be a little malicious for the television show, which is fine. I don't mind.
She was showing him properties. I think he was dating someone else at the time.
If somebody cheats for you, then that means they would cheat on you.
I was like, what the, Mary, you know that's not true. So basically how I met him was he went on a date with a girlfriend of mine. She didn't like him. So she said, why don't you go on a date with this guy? If you don't like him, fine. He's looking for a house. Just give it a go. So I said, great. So that got, you know, muddled through the grapevine into he's a client. He was dating someone else. He was in another relationship. And like, you know, it's good for TV, but Mary, you know the real story. She just wants to, you know, stir some shit up. So, you know, and then Chrishell jumps in, once a cheater, always a cheater kind of thing. Yikes, you know, looking back now, yikes about that comment she said.
Wait, guys. What is it?
It's all over the internet right now.
Chrishell Stause is dealing with change. Her husband, This Is Us star Justin Hartley, filed for divorce.
I want to talk about what we're going to see in season 3. While we see your marriage start, we see the end of Chrishell's marriage. Talk to me kind of what we're going to see play out there with you guys.
Nothing. I mean, he's not allowed to be on the show, so he's never been on the show. She's not allowed to talk about him. So, you know, she never really talks about him. So you're gonna see, I think, her just finding out, and I don't think there's ever any resolve, which really kind of sucks for her. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see her try to keep it together as all this is unfolding.
I guess then happened just before your wedding.
It was, yeah, exactly.
Because it looks like she storms out of your wedding.
Well, my wedding was extremely hard for her, you know, and that's really what it comes down to is, you know, it was an emotional thing. That really was more about her emotions at the wedding, you know, kind of getting to her and being fresh out of a relationship. There's really nothing more to that, but I think that would be hard for anyone.
Yeah. All right. Something else in the first look at season 3 is you meeting up with Maya and Heather and seemingly proposing leaving Oppenheim and starting your own thing.
I don't like being around egotistic males.
Would you guys ever consider leaving?
And then I noticed on your Instagram, you said you've secured the bag and now you're going to become your own boss and be a CEO. So are you leaving? What are you doing?
You know, it was something that we've always talked about because we've always wanted to be our own boss. And the favoritism in the office with Mary, you know, it's real. So, you know, it's really, really hard for us because we're all hardworking as well. So it's something that's in the works. I'll just say, in addition to that, you know, I'm working on a company for myself as well. So it's really, really exciting. I think I'm tired of working for someone full time. You know, I could go to like part-time, but I don't like being told what to do.
Okay. Well, you know, the show is focused around that group. So would that mean either we turn it into kind of a real estate war situation where we've got 2 brokerages going after it, or would it mean you would have to walk away from the show?
Well, there's been some drama going down, and I feel like I'm allowed to talk about it because it's public knowledge. Someone has left the brokerage for good and started their own brokerage. So, Can you guess who that is?
I'm guessing Davina because she's a broker.
No, it's his brother. It's Brett.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's been, you know, a division going on. So I feel like, you know, it's kind of been something that's happening for a while, and people are just trying to figure out where the chess pieces are going right now. Let the game begin.
Okay. So I would imagine we're going to see some of that on season 3.
I definitely hope so, yeah.
Okay. Should a 4th season happen, what do you hope that season looks like? What would you like to see this group evolve to do?
I would love to see this group evolve to actually become friends and a family again, because it's so divided and it's so broken, and it's just it's not normal. It's not a fun situation. That's kind of my hope, but I don't know if it'll ever happen because people love the drama. It is what it is.
I would imagine this would be the time of year you'd be gearing up to film again.
Normally we start filming in August. Usually that's when we start, you know, Principal, and that's coming up soon. So I don't know if that's going to happen with everything that's going on with the pandemic. It might be pushed to next year. I don't know. I really hope not, but could be.
This other company, can you give me any hints of what you're cooking up?
I'm kind of starting a lifestyle brand that's, you know, centered around positivity and confidence and, you know, inclusivity, and it's just it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun.
Okay, so kind of a place to showcase that part of yourself you feel doesn't get shown on Selling Sunset.
100%, yeah.
Okay. What about for your personal life? Are kids on the horizon? Do you want to become a mom?
Definitely. I definitely want to be a mom. I would love to have kids on the horizon. For me, I just want to, you know, work on my company and travel a little bit first. And then, yes, absolutely, I would love that.
Okay, so maybe in a couple of years down the road.
Like 2 or less.
What does your family make of you living this very big life?
You know, my parents always knew I was going to do something big. They love that I'm on TV. And my mom's so funny. She's like, you know, my church group watches this, so if you could not talk about your vagina, that would be great. I'm like, sorry, Mom. But other than that, it's great.
You know, price to pay. I've seen you say that you would love to become a Real Housewife one day. Like, let this journey evolve into that.
You know, I'm a big fan of the show, and it's definitely crossed my mind because I'm like, okay, there's going to be a point where I'm going to be doing my own company and I'm not going to be doing real estate, you know, in the next few years. So then what? And I was like, it would be really fun to be a housewife.
Have you given any thought of what a tagline might be?
I could say something like, I used to do real estate, but now I'm just keeping it real. I don't know.
Bravo, no pun intended. Bravo.
Something like that.
All right, we've been talking for a while, so I gotta let you go. But is there any tease you want to give for season 3?
I think season 3 is going to be really fun. You know, we see a wedding happen and we see a relationship fall apart, so you get both ends of the spectrum. And I hope you guys love it and enjoy it. It's juicy.